Na 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 Wax Pack! Na 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 Flashback! Yeah, biff bam pow, everybody. Adam here with another edition of Wax Pack Flashback. I gotta love that classic 1966 TV series theme song. Burt Ward, Adam West. Man, we love that show. That was where it started for a lot of us, right? You'd turn on the TV, catch a rerun of Batman, see Cesar Romero as the Joker, Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. Yeah, I mean, it was just so much fun. I actually still have my original cape. This is my childhood cape that I wore in the living room, jumping around, pretending to be the Cape Crusader. So I was on the Batman train pretty early, although Spider-Man was always my favorite. Batman I grew to love even more when the 1989 movie came out, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton. I mean, the merchandising was at an all-time high, right? We all got the action figures. We all picked up the trading cards and everything else. But it didn't stop there because they continued to allow it to grow. This in particular was something special to me. Untold Legend of the Batman. They was a 3-issue, 3-tape series where they were like radio plays, where they would actually, bring the comic book to life. I loved it so much. I listened to those over and over again. I even collected, these are kind of interesting, these are decals, or more so they're like static clings that you could stick on a window of your car. I personally put them on my bedroom window. They were up there for years and years. I loved a parody of Batman if I could find it. So yes, I would pick up an issue of Cracked. This is a special issue for me as well. So there was just so much going on, as you can see behind me as well, in the world of merchandising for Batman. And yet, what was interesting is it was so movie related when it came to trading cards. You'd get Batman cards, Batman Series 2 cards, Batman Returns card, Batman's Top Stadium Club cards. Like, it was all movie related. They didn't, even in the DC Comics sets, they didn't include Batman or his characters because those rights were owned by Topps. But eventually, here in 1994, we got Batman, yes, the Saga of the Dark Knight, this trading card collection from Skybox. And this allowed you to get into the history of Batman in the comics. And so it was something very special and unique. It was something that fans and readers were looking forward to for a very long time. So it's going to be exciting to dig in there and find out what is hiding inside, because it just feels like there's so much untapped history maybe that people weren't seeing if they only knew the movies. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are with a pack of Batman Saga of the Dark Knight trading cards from 1994 by Skybox. It tells us back here that we can actually order our collector's album as always. And as you can see here, we have a full ad for it from Wizard Magazine. The series was actually covered in Wizard. And they told us here something very special about the chase cards. There's the Spectra-Etch cards, but then they talk about a special SkyDisc card found once every 240 packs. And it says here, when the card is placed on a flat surface and a light is shown upon it, Batman appears to rise from the card. If you walk around the card, you can see a complete 360-degree figure. The effect was achieved by filming a Batman statue from every possible angle. Isn't that crazy? So they actually have a 3D card. The image rises from the card. So the question becomes, will we find that special SkyDisc card or a Spectra-Etch card inside this pack? Let's open it up and find out. This very shiny, very heavy-duty pack. Okay, here we go. We're going into the pack cave. You like it? All right. Okay, first off here, who do we have? Oh, these are very glossy cards. They stick together. So there we have Batman and Two-Face. Look at just the neon green and pink on. This is definitely the 90s here. We're dealing with this. Okay, so it's Double Jeopardy. He always wins. Double setup. Bruce Wayne's World Series of Poker, $22 million of prize money, would surely snare Two-Face. Two-Face's kidnapping of the Wright twins would certainly lure Batman. Double jeopardy. What if, while waiting by their respective traps, they missed each other? Batman couldn't chance it. He left to rescue the twins. Meanwhile, Two-Face robbed the casino, but left the money behind. His coin toss landed on the unscarred side. Oh, it's too bad. So that was apparently some Phil Jimenez art here. Okay, let's see what we have next. Wow. Now that is a very intense looking bad guy. This is part of the Sword of Azrael miniseries. Of course, those of you who know, Azrael eventually took on the Batman persona was a little crazy due to his training by the Order of Saint Dumas, brainwashing, if you will. But okay, so yeah, that was a bad guy that had to be defeated in that mini-series. Here we go. All right, this is part of Knightfall. You'll notice this guy has scratches all over. You know, he's basically done tally marks on his body. That's from all the people he's killed, okay, because that's Mr. Zsasz. I believe he appeared on Gotham and some other stuff. He's one of the more crazy, serial killers in Batman's rogues gallery here. But this is pretty cool. This is some Graham Nolan art. So Graham Nolan, pretty prolific comic book artist, especially in the 90s. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, so look, you see Robin, Tim Drake Robin, my favorite. And there is Batman, but why does Batman have blonde hair? Because that's Jean-Paul Valley, aka Azrael, as Batman. That's not Bruce Wayne. This is during the Knightfall saga, and it says here, Robin, Azrael, and Alfred successfully stabilized the Batman's dire condition following Bane's attack. Then came the hardest part, the waiting. During what looked to be an indefinite convalescence, someone had to claim the mantle of the Bat and retake the night. Bruce Wayne selected his newest protege, Jean-Paul Valley, Azrael, on one condition. Under no circumstances was he to confront Bane. Young Azrael accepted. Yeah, so in more Graham Nolan art there. Yeah, it turned out to be a poor decision on Bruce Wayne's part, but exciting comics. Okay, now you guys see this gentleman here with his green cloak. And it looks like he's been taken. No, yeah, this is definitely a little bit different than the Christopher Nolan version of Ra's al Ghul, however you want to say it. So this is just giving you a heads up as to who this character is. He has his Lazarus pit, which allows him basically to live indefinitely. He can completely rejuvenate himself. Ooh, now this is intense. A death in the family. For those of you who are not aware, the first Robin was Dick Grayson, the second Robin was Jason Todd, and he was a bit of a jerk, and so they actually had a storyline where they gave fans the opportunity to decide if he should die. There was a phone number you could call and say, should he live or die after the Joker beat him to death, or nearly to death with a crowbar, and then there was an explosion. And everybody voted to kill the guy off. He came back later, many years later, as the Red Hood. But this is some nice Jim Aparo art with Dick Giordano inks. So yeah, this is a very intense scene. In the 80s, things were getting a little rougher at DC Comics. Whoa, now this is intense. Look at this right here. So there's Jean-Paul Valley as Azrael in his bat armor. But he's obviously under attack here. Who is that particular character? Let's see. Costume protected by skin, but only just. In a heavy winter downpour, the new Batman met his match, or more accurately, his uniform met its match. The corrosive man attacked Batman, believing Batman to be the one who turned him into a living acid bath. Batman survived using Bruce Wayne ingenuity. He lured the villain into a sandpit to douse his deadly fires. This battle prompted the new Batman to modify and reinforce his costume. Wait, but Batman survived using Bruce Wayne ingenuity? So they're just saying that if you're smart, then you're Bruce Wayne? That's interesting, though. I did not know about this character, I'll be honest, that he is a living acid bath. All right, here's our last one. No Spectra-Etch, no SkyDisc, but a pretty cool looking image here. I'm not sure Batman is really in pain and Robin seems to be showing up to save the day. This is from the Cult miniseries. I wasn't strong enough to resist him, Robin. Deacon Blackfire starved, tortured, and drugged Batman until the Dark Knight believed, like all of Gotham City, that he was the Messiah. Never before had Batman been so helpless. Fortunately, Robin found him and released his body and mind from Blackfire's shackles. Jason Todd returned Batman's strength and confidence so that together they could free Gotham from a false prophet's tyranny. Yeah, so again, it's kind of some darker, more adult storylines here. But that was interesting. It was Jason Todd during that time. I didn't realize that was the time frame. But also you see we have pencils here by Tom Grummett. He is one of the great 90s artists, especially on Robin stories and a bunch of others. So he's pretty fantastic. Yeah, gotta love it. But no chase cards this time around. Still, though, it's nice to get that bit of Batman history, right? So very cool. And let's close this thing out. All right. Well, I mean, that was a fun pack of cards to go through. I definitely was very familiar with the characters in there, especially the Knightfall Saga stuff from the 90s comics. That was such a big storyline as I was becoming a major comic book reader and fan. So if I had to pick a favorite card, I think I'd go with this one here. Again, I love the duality of the characters, which obviously fits with Two-Face, but I love the neon pink and green that is mixed into his face there. I mean, it's very much, right, the Batman Forever Joel Schumacher style, but for some reason, I accept it more and I enjoy the camp more in comic book form. So this is definitely my favorite. Wish we could have gotten a SkyDisc. Maybe one of these days we'll open up a pack of cards that has one and I'll be able to see the 3D magic in person. But thank you so much for joining us and checking out this edition of Wax Pack Flashback. Many, many more to come. I got a stack of packs over here waiting to be opened. They are fresh. They are, just holding this nostalgia within. So I hope that you'll be back soon. Make sure you subscribe to TRN TV here on the Retro Network YouTube channel. Of course, you can find me and more of my retro nonsense at Hoju Coolander on Twitter. You can also, if you want to get more information about the world of 90s comics, if you want to know what the Knightfall Saga was all about, you can actually go over to my podcast, Wizards, the Podcast Guide to Comics, where we go through every issue of Wizard Magazine, and you better believe they were all in on those storylines and sharing the latest gossip and rumors and reviews. So with that, I will leave you until next time.